That's us.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Irn-Cru, an American football podcast made in Scotland. Tonight we have the Cru's annual draft of the fantasy. We last year, if you watched it last year, you'll have seen a lot of laughs, a lot of jokes, a lot of sniping, a lot of player stealing. But all around, it was always, as always, there's a good bit of banter. We're going to have some guys live on the pod tonight, some guys joining us from home, some guys unfortunately unable to make us, and we will have the obvious and the hilarious auto drafts as well, which will throw some spanners in the works of some people's draft boards. Joining me tonight live is the commissioner of the Cru League. It's Brian. Brian, how are you?
Commissioner and champion. I think you'll find. Do you know what? Hang on a minute. This is great because I ran away from the screen for a second. To return, so you can all kiss the ring.
Okay. No.
Fantasy champion. I am here to reclaim my spot at the top of the Cru's fantasy royalty.
Excellent. And we've got Nick joining. Nick is our fantasy rookie. So Nick, no pressure on you tonight. We will not judge your picks, but we will really. How are you doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm good. Listen, I'm buzzing to be here. Never did fantasy before. Was complaining off here that I've been randomly assigned pick number 9. That surely I'm the most likely to fail. I should have pick number 1. But the committee and Roger Goodell of Gridiron has weighed in and said, no, the draw is what the draw is. So we'll see how we get on. But yeah, I'm representing everybody else that's never played fantasy before. Let's see how big a mess we can
We're going to lose to somebody that's literally never played before in their life. It's going to be, and they're a Pats fan. It's going to be that embarrassing.
Studs, welcome. How are you doing?
Yeah, not bad, guys. Been wee well since I've been on, but I look forward to the draft. And Nick, I will apologise just now because with me being just ahead of you in 8, there is going to be undoubtedly a sniper too. And I dare say you'll get me back as well, though, in the return legs.
Studs is always so gracious about it when you snipe him.
And we have our number 1 draft pick is joining us tonight. Is Gav? You're in the hot seat, Gav. You ready to go?
Well, yeah, I was going to try and drag it out for the full 10 minutes like the NFL, but apparently Brian's cut it down to 30, which is brutal. So there'll be no messing around.
Don't worry.
Yeah, 15 rounds of draft picks, 10 minutes each would be here for about a week. I think 30 seconds is probably a wise. I don't think Keith would be happy with the amount of storage that podcast would take up if we had to run that far.
So I'll put some people here in the war room.
That's it. Keith joining us from the sick room tonight, Keith. Hope you feel better and looking forward to your random picks. Right, Brian, come on, you get 15 seconds until the actual official start time. It's on you. You start us whenever you're ready.
Yeah, this is it. And it's, as I said, as commissioner, as champion, it's fundamentally fantasy Jesus. I would like to thank you all for playing this year. Thank you all for being gracious losers for my inevitable victory. And with that, I would like to declare the 2024-25 Irn-Cru fantasy season begins now. Gav, you are on the clock. This is great. This is the one pick in fantasy I would never, ever want to have.
I'll maybe use the 15 seconds to tell you that I've only ever picked first overall once, and that was Mike Vick the year after he went off. So no messing around. Safe bet here.
There he is.
CMC.
The least surprising pick of the night goes to Gav.
What I love is, Brian, when you started the draft, you could just hear everybody's phone buzz in tandem to let us know.
Yeah.
Oh, Mikey.
Now, do you know, it's funny because me and Dan were talking earlier on today about a certain player never making it.
I cannot believe Fraser's done that to you, Dan.
Now, Dan insisted that he wouldn't take this player.
I wasn't. Literally, my number one was Tyreek Hill. Gavel, I've been saying for a week. Tyreek Hill was my number one. Amon-Ra St. Brown was my number two. I'm going to have to do it now.
He said he wouldn't. He said he wouldn't.
Oh.
This is great. Lamb's not going to sign a contract now, and it's going to ruin Dan's season and his fantasy
I
season.
cannot believe Fraser took him at 3.
I'm absolutely delighted.
I
Potentially
absolutely
looking at what
believe in that pick.
I'm getting heart roll. This is Jamar Chase. Let's be honest. It's Stu. I know he's on auto draft. He has Jamar Chase as his first pick.
Yeah. Now, Stu is getting Italians drunk right now, is what Stu's doing. He's helping at a charity golf event, which involves him getting Italians drunk.
I'm
So
joining him because these misties will be dishing out the whiskey, so I'm going to join in as well.
Quite right, mate, as you should. So let's see. Jamar Chase, that does bump Stu onto auto draft. But for anybody listening, if you are new to fantasy and you don't quite know what that one means, when a player's put onto auto draft, it just means that they will draft players based on their ADP or their average draft position, which can give you some pretty funky.
That's a good one. I was wondering where he was going to go. Yeah, I wasn't sure about where he was going.
Studs has got options now.
To be
There's
fair,
a
I
couple of
thought
ways to do this.
I know where I'm going. I'm just kind of slightly dragging it out, but I didn't think Garrett Wilson would have went there, to be honest. But I thought it was another jet. So I'm going to go safe bet for me again. Bijan in that position. In fact, he's dropped me. I'm delighted.
Now, Nick, this is Nick's
compared to
first
last year.
ever fantasy.
I'm good. I just need to let him get my head around it because this moves fast. But yeah, listen, I like this player. Just moved. Yeah.
Saquon. When you said just moved, I thought that's where you were going.
I've got a lot of respect for that pick.
Wait a minute, Kev never picked Derrick Henry. Can we all just pick ourselves off the ground?
Oh, yeah. Now that's bizarre because they've never fallen to me, but I'm not actually a huge believer in the Eagles this year. But it is AJ Brown.
Will we keep waiting for Keith? I still cannot believe that I was expecting at least Amon-Ra St. Brown to drop to 4. I was not expecting him to go top 3.
The pick for Fraser's really put it amongst the pigeons. Jefferson, I thought Jefferson was going to drop to me, and I wanted absolutely zero part of it.
I said to Brian earlier on, I think CD Lamb will slide. And I said I'm not going to take him because I was not expecting Amon-Ra St. Brown to have been gone.
Jeez,
it's come back.
He's doubled down. Yeah, it's coming back to me. So you're in a couple of minutes.
I think the only thing is, obviously it's great to see guys racking up points across the season, but there is a kind of school of thought that as long as they're healthy for the playoffs, then contract stuff in week 1 doesn't matter too much. Injuries are different, but contract stuff.
Yeah. Oh,
we are on YouTube, kid.
See, this is great because this is what I keep saying. Fantasy drafts against the computer are one thing. Against real players, real people who are determined to do weird things is a whole other animal.
I like that pick by Kev, by the way. I think Drake London's
Oh, Nick, I was hoping you were just going to dodge him. Damn it.
It was him or Adam. Yeah.
I would have rather you picked Adams, if I'm honest. I've had zero shares in Marvin Harrison, so if he dropped to me, I was absolutely going there. I'm going to fill up a onesie position.
Oh.
The
second least surprising pick of this draft.
It's like the first time in ages that Studs has been able to get down.
100%, and it was never landing to me at 3.8, so it just means that I can forget about tight end and I can focus on other things.
Right.
You keep your arm up a little higher as you reach there.
Hello, YouTube.
Oh, who's he going with?
Auto drafting.
That's Gibbs.
Gibbs.
Not bad.
Gibbs, to be fair, not a bad pick. It's just going to be a case of how much is Monty and Gibbs going to slit each other's throats.
See, that's my worry. Don't mind.
Everybody's live, so
Stu's with us. So Stu have checked and been delighted at what he got first.
Travis Etienne. There you go.
See, this is where it starts to get tasty.
Yeah.
Liam will go Devon A-Chain. I think Liam's always one.
You're going to
I'm going to
with
call it.
Jacobs. Homer pick with Jacobs, no?
I think he'll stay away from Packers until maybe Reed later, but I think he goes A-Chain here.
Oh.
Well, let's see it. He's called it. He's going to wind up all drafting.
Oh, Laporta.
Oh.
Is that you, Dad?
Right, Dan, this is it. Where do you go next?
This is one of the ones that in every mock draft I got him in this position, so I'm going to take him.
Yeah.
Again,
I do
it's
expect him to get a much bigger workload this year than he had last year.
Never draft Dolphins.
Oh, wow.
Oh, there's another Homer pick.
There's our first Homer pick for the night. First Homer pick.
Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're going here, Gav. Or not this one, one of these two.
You know what's happened with one of these two?
Yeah, I knew it was coming.
Stud, do I hold you hostage?
Right, you got to take Pat Mahomes as well.
No,
Yeah, imagine.
I'm not going to be that guy.
Who picked Travis Kelce?
That'd be me, kid.
Okay. Very controversial name.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, doubling down in 49ers. He's a bit like Keith.
I really
Well, is he a 49er?
I hope Ayuk becomes a Steeler now. Just to ruin Gav's draft.
Oh,
I thought Mikey would have stacked up and maybe went Lamar Jackson instead of Jalen Hurts.
I mean, I think Eagles are going to struggle this year. I think that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Where did I go here?
If I'd have took Flowers, I'd have went Lamar
Two
there
options
personally.
here. Two options.
What's it gonna be?
Just based because I think his team will do well this season.
Yeah, he wouldn't have made it past studs.
No, I know there's not a chance he was coming back to me.
Nah.
If it's either him or Josh Jacobs, I just feel that Chiefs have got a better chance of longevity in the season.
If he fell to me, then I would have had a hard time getting by him.
Yeah, no, I knew there's no chance he had to get past you.
Oof, Cook.
Tell you what, I'm going to have some interesting names land at me.
Let's see what Stu's auto draft takes him next.
Olave. Well, see, Stu's back. He's not on auto anymore.
Oh,
Stu's
have your miles away, right? So we can chat to you for a second.
Yeah, of course.
Give us your thoughts so far. Who's been a surprise for you so far? Who's picked somebody surprisingly for you?
See, for me, it's all about value because I think I'm looking at guys like Zay Flowers and I'm thinking that's a superb pick in the fourth. In the second, you're really looking for him to do well. Nico Collins, that's I mean he did well last year, but my big question is with a lot of these Texans, is there going to be game tape on them now? Are they going to regress a little? And there's so much talent in that receiver room.
Yeah. No, I do get it. I'm following the money on that one with Nico Collins, to be honest. They've paid him this year, so I think he is going to be their wide receiver one for me. So I was toying with the idea of maybe going Jalen Waddle. Or there was a couple other names, but we'll see what kind of drops back to me. Potentially.
See, this is a risky pick. This could go bad.
Oh, that blew up in my face last year.
I know. I'm shooting for the upside.
Oh, you and Keith
meant to be brilliant
in the Rams this season.
And he's healthy.
He was one that I was hoping was maybe swing back to me.
Right, so is Keith going to go Matt Stafford now just to complete the hat trick?
The glitch is not working, guys.
Or Blake Corum? Oh, Lamar, that's
safe.
Lamar Jackson.
I mean, this is and of course, friend of the podcast, no less.
Lamar
Jackson's
the friend of the podcast.
Oh, I don't want to make my next pick. Because I know what I want. I know what I'm going to do.
Rashad White.
Oh, Keith.
Oh,
Oh,
come
he missed
on,
it.
Oh, he uttered.
Yeah,
Oh, right.
Minshew is the starter as well now, so
Yeah.
at least he knows who's throwing him the ball.
Price Keith didn't go for DK Metcalf there.
Fuck, aye, he's still on the board there.
Yep. All right, okay. Aye. That's not the pick I wanted to make, but I couldn't say no to him still sitting there. Let's see if who I wanted comes back to me.
Interesting. I wonder where Kev's going to go. Surely he's got. Is Derek Henry gone? Oh, yes, he's away. Fraser's got.
Yeah, he's away. Otherwise, that would have been a safe bet.
Oh,
That's what I was. I was going to say that. I was going to go for the stack with Kelsey there. If he fell back to me.
Let's see. I do not see my next pick making it back.
I wonder where-
when it goes, I'll tell you.
oh,
Okay.
this one. Nick, explain that one, Nick.
I just felt like snapping up the two runaway wide receiver talent for the draft in March or April, whatever time it was this year.
You know it's not a dynasty draft we're playing tonight.
No, man. Just having
Do you know
fun.
what?
I've never done it. Don't punch down the way. I've never done it.
Do you know what I'm missing, Nick? I hope your pick smashes it.
Oh, is Paul reaching for Stroud? That's an interesting one. Let's see how he shapes up this year against the game tape. Right, Studs, we'll get Studs, you're miles away again, so let's come to you. So, how do you feel your draft's going so far?
Not too bad until I've just realised that I've got two wide receivers on bye weeks in week 14.
We're working on it.
That means
So,
Right, Liam, come on.
you get
Leave
no
him
point.
for it. Studs, apart from that, how's your draft going?
apart from that, I've kind of obviously getting Bijan that late. I'm absolutely delighted with, to be honest, because that means I've got expectation. I've got one of somebody that can challenge CMC. To be honest,
Yeah. Stu's attempting to join us by Black Speed, right? This might be a reach, but I have raved about this guy for a year and I need to take him.
Hello guys, how you doing?
Oh, Stu, he's with us.
Hello.
Yeah, how you doing?
I can't see you, Stu.
I'm off the golf course. I'm now in the car on the way back. Pamela's with me. She's helped me with the draft here, and she was very into the idea of picking Jalen Waddle there in the fourth round.
Who's the woman in the league that basically does her husband's draft for her again? For anybody that's watched the league.
But that's the 1 year I won. Like Pamela helped out, so I mean, maybe she should do that every year.
Well, glad you managed to join us, Stu, though.
Yeah, I'm glad that my I did leave like a 150 player deep queue, so I knew it probably wasn't going to go too far awry. So I'm glad that my auto pick was Jamar Chase. I was hoping maybe my red herring about having Brandon Aubrey as my 101 would cause someone to maybe do something to make Jamar fall, but Jamar fell anyway, so delighted.
Yeah, that Alan Ross Brown going at 3 just basically put all the cat amongst all the pigeons.
What's the deal with flex again?
Flex can be anybody that's a wide receiver, a running back, or a tight end.
Okay.
Any of them can play in those slots.
Anybody back QB.
After you've filled your first.
Well, so after you've filled them, you've also got a 5. So this, this for the sake of everybody listening at home, and say Nick is our first ever fantasy experience. So in a game day, you'll fill your roster with in the leagues, the crew league. We've got a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and then 2 flex positions, plus a kicker and a defense. You've then got 5 bench slots that are purely there for covering you for injuries, bye weeks where you just don't fancy someone's matchup. You can swap people out of your active lineup and put them onto your bench instead. So that's how the crew league shakes out. Oh, this is getting interesting.
Where did I go here?
No, you said you wanted to.
Is someone going to come back? This is now the stage you're at where is someone going to come back to you?
Are you going to play the game? Are you going to play the ADP game?
See, now this is where that's my pick, Bandit.
Aye, that's a good pick there.
I was tempted to take him at 4-2, but I couldn't take him over Debo.
Yeah, I think as we all know, elite tight ends are very hard to come by in fantasy. So, with the majority of them going off the board already, I couldn't really leave McBride sitting there.
I think you're now at the stage. You're getting to the stage now with the tight ends where it's basically a punt on the position.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair,
I'd say
I don't know.
there's-
You guys
I'd say there's a
have all
couple.
just let Mr. Canada, Dalton Kincaid, fall
Is he good?
here. So, as the Canadian resident, it'd be kind of remiss of me to not take Dalton Kincaid, seeing as he's sitting right there. So here he is.
Wait.
Right, let's see.
I do fancy Kincaid to do well this year, though, as well, because just like looking at the Bills' lack of real options, I guess, at receiver, and how Kincaid was doing towards the end of last year, I think that might be a good pick for me.
Yeah.
See, it's one.
DK Metcalf is like, who's Miles back? Studs you've just picked. So,
Yeah.
what's your thoughts on Dalton? DK Metcalf studs?
That's a bold purdy pick.
It's really going to be dependent on what Geno Smith's going to be like, to be honest. The new OC for Washington obviously likes to kind of chuck it. So I think for that perspective, you'd expect the guys like Metcalf, JSN and Lockett all to have more prominent roles. What I would say, though, is Mike McDonald, the new head coach, has had first-hand experience of Kenneth Walker running all over him for Michigan State during his time at Michigan. So I think I think McDonald's going to certainly try and lean on Kenneth Walker, which is why obviously I went with Walker. Brian, you are an absolute arsehole.
I told you. I tell you earlier on, Studs, I said to Brian, if Studs doesn't get Pat Mahomes, he's going to take Anthony Richardson.
Aye, that's why my pick took so long, to be honest, because I thought if I don't take Kenneth Walker, I thought Nick would maybe take him because Nick only had one RB, so I thought he'll maybe go there. I looked at who was missing QBs, and it was Nick and Brian. So I knew it wasn't going to be Kev or Keith that took Anthony Richardson. So I knew it was going to be Brian or Nick, to be honest. But I tried to kind of let him come back to me.
Brian, you've been all dishing at the chat, so let's hear from you. Your draft so far, talk us through it.
Honestly, this is so off the strategy that I have for drafts at the minute. A couple of stacks that in every mock I've tried to put together have went because I've had value picks in other places, like having Debo, or I've been going for McBride early, and things like that. And again, even now, there's a pick that I like, but I don't really want to make. But I think I'm
Amari Cooper.
What is Amari Cooper? Because
that was the pick I would have made there.
He's wide receiver one. He's wide receiver one in the Browns. He's going to see another 1,000, 1,100 yards, however many TDs.
It's a smart choice.
There's other places that I would have preferred to have went, but when value's staring at you like that, you can't say no.
Oh, who the
I knew Jake was going next, so good pick, Kev. I like that.
I think all Studs' favourite players have been bombed out right in his eyes.
I think that might be the first Patriot on the board.
And I'll be honest, Nick, there probably shouldn't be many other Patriots that go on the board.
Paul, welcome. Thanks for joining us, Paul.
All right.
There he is.
I'll let you get a pick out the road and I'll come back to you.
Okay.
I must admit, I want to hear Paul explain Garrett Wilson. Once he's done his pick, obviously.
We can pick first, Paul. We can pick first.
You know what? I'm gonna be a fucking troll here and pick two quarterbacks.
Oh no! That's literally me.
Stu was raging his stats.
Perfect time as well, Paul.
I just get absolutely sniped there. That's absolutely horrible. Because I'm sitting going, yep, going well. Draft's going great, brilliant. I can even get Burrow, and I just thought as he had Stroud, like there's no chance that a quarterback's going, but. Okay, now what do you think? And I'm running this here.
The 30-second timer's going to bite Stu. Yes, it is.
Doubling down in the wide receivers.
It's another Bengal.
It's okay. I mean, I was looking at going like, you know what? I don't want Aaron Jones, so I'm like, well.
somebody will bite the bullet and take Aaron Jones, and that is a choice.
Well, later on, fine. Like I just think not there. I was looking at it going like, I can't do it. So
Aaron Jones, it
I
does
want
have
to
a
be part of the Vikings.
Oh,
Rashi
I
Rice.
was
know.
looking at how far down, and I thought he might make it back to me.
Do you know who's not making it back to you, studs?
Xavier Worthy.
I know exactly where you're going.
There we go.
Listen, I've got him in Dynasty. I've got Kelsey. I've got the wide receiver one in the Chiefs. I'm okay with that. So nah, I was not looking at Xavier Worthy, Dan. So you're all good. Even after
maybe a bit of a reach, but I think we've been saying for ages the Chiefs have not had a number one wide receiver since Tyreek, and I think Worthy is going to be that number one wide receiver for the Chiefs.
Right, so hold on, I want to go back to some Paul. Garrett
Fine.
Wilson at 1.7. Where's the thought process there?
There was none.
I'm on to the next question.
I'm not gonna lie, like, because while that started, I was actually live in doing an podcast, and so I was trying to like, oh fuck it, I'll just pick him. And obviously Gibbs and Jacobs became auto pick because I'm still like like doing the podcast, and I was like, right, I'm not screwing up the fourth round. I'll just get my quarterback to now, and I managed to get Metcalf, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna stir the pot, take 2 quarterbacks, so I've got a good bit of rotation. I can have a bit of selection on game day. Like based on
your auto draft picks actually made more sense than your own first picks, Paul.
I am not disagreeing.
Paul, I was literally waiting on you taking Brees and Bijan, and I'm like, that's fine, I'll just take the other one. And then it left the 2 of them, and I was like, okay, shit, which one did I take?
I'll be honest, I'm not a Bijan fan. I'll be honest.
Bold.
Well, I'm not having that. Of my team.
Right.
Nah, I can understand it, to be fair. I thought last season he probably, from a rookie perspective, I was probably quite disappointed in him, but for what I've been reading out of camp, that's where I've got a bit of belief in him this year. But I might be wrong.
I find the reason why I'm probably biased against it is because the amount of draft analysts for the Cowboys were doing the homework on Robinson that year. I just got sick of it. I was like, the problem's not running back. We need XYZ instead of a running back. That's probably my main reason behind it. I'm sure he is a good player, but I was just sick of hearing about him.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that he's now got like a decent quarterback in Kirk Cousins, I think that the Falcons' offense is going to be slightly better, and that's really going to help them. And also, if they do stop rotating him with Algier all the time, because he was definitely the better running back when they played him, but they seem to just keep going to Algier, who was then getting 3 yards of carry, and it's like, what are you doing, all that?
Dan is definitely putting his season on that CD Lamb contract situation.
I now have to. I have no choice no matter. As we have in conversations, Gav, my stack previously was Amon Ra and Jared Goff. So I'm like, well, I don't need Amon Ra now, so I need to stack with that. But yeah, what will now happen is none of them will sign a contract. Both will hold out. My fantasy season will be screwed.
Kind of left with no choice here. No, actually, in fact.
Dan, you got this.
Whoa, you know, a 5-game ban?
5-game ban and no quarterback. That's a bold pick.
Choice.
I'll trade you T. Higgins for Joe Burrow.
Right, I've got another rookie question for all the rookies listening along. Right, so I'm into my flex now, or like kicker D. Like, what's more valuable to Phil? The
flex. Don't touch kicker or D unless you're Stu.
Okay.
We're a few rounds away from kicker. You're even for me.
Oh, where'd he go?
I can't wait to take one of the 8 outside.
You get that?
Oh, I got it in.
There we go.
Quarterback stacks.
That was lit. That's who I wanted. That's who I was drafting there. I like a rookie wild card. Who knows what they're going to do?
Next, asking about the flex. Just bear in mind that if you just stack wide receivers or running backs, they'll fill your flex for you. Don't worry about actually filling the flex spots themselves. wide receiver, running back,
right.
tight
So
ends
I
are your
thought he
flex
was
spot.
the QB. He went into that flex spot, no?
No,
No.
Flex.
Oh, right, okay. Right.
But
you
you
get,
do
you
have
get
an
15
amazing
players to
QB in your
choose in
bench.
total. Remember, you
Ah,
get 15, so you're basically going to have one kicker, one D usually. So you get 15 slots to fill. So 13 of them can be wide receiver, running back, tight end, or quarterback. The flex is basically any running back, wide receiver, tight end you don't have in your starting 11 or
Right.
starting lineup, you can put them into the flex.
Right, okay, right. I think
Flex
again,
itself isn't a position.
this
It's
is-
basically somewhere you can
these
put a
guys,
tight end.
it's really easy for newbies, this game, isn't it?
Yeah, mate. Listen, Nick, to be very genuine, for somebody that's drafting your first ever fantasy team, you've got if you're somebody that believes in rookies, you've got a very good lineup so far.
To be fair, there's a
pretty
stack. Obviously, you've got the Purdy Kittle stack sitting there as well, which is
Back
good.
one at Philly. Like,
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's
I
a
like-
good
I like-
fit, like.
I like Kittle. I like Kittle a lot.
It's just it's whether it's going to be a Kittle game or not. I think if Ayuk goes, I think you see more for Kittle. But if Ayuk stays, then it's going to be you're going to have the odd week where Kittle's going to absolutely explode.
Right, that actually helped me.
Took the agony out of your.
Did it help you?
Yeah,
by
yeah, it did.
an option?
It made it took something off the board for me. Yeah, I'm not sorry at all, Stu.
Wow, it's an AFC North loving right now.
I would have been obligated to take Chubb if he had fallen to me again.
Right, he's probably the ultimate risk.
Okay.
What that is right, by the way.
Kev's going rogue. Kev's going
Oh,
rogue again.
Brandon Aubrey went out. Wait a minute, you did what I was going to do.
Right. So I am going to keep this simple, and I'm going to take my stack, and I'll go Jordan Love and Jaden Reed.
Nice. Evan Ingram, solid pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably, I would say that's the last of the kind of top tier fantasy tight ends off the board.
Well,
Yeah,
I think we don't know what Brock Bibbles is going to do, do we?
He's the
I disagree with you on that one, Brian. There's Dalton Schultz as well for the Texans.
Too many mouths.
lot
Too
of
many mouths in that team. I
and just
don't think they can support them all.
I do have a lot of belief in Dalton Kincaid, which is why I'm glad he dropped to me, just because of Buffalo and Josh Allen.
Kincaid's really good.
So
He's
we're,
getting a
now,
red zone target, like, for sure.
we're now at the point in the draft where there's no rhyme or reason to pick. So it just becomes a bit of a mishmash.
Oh, there's Jones gone.
Or you
This
kind
is
of
when you
decide,
win your
like,
league.
I need a QB, so I took the best available. Like, I maybe wasn't targeting Kyler when the draft started, but as I needed one, I just went, hey, let's go for it.
Kyler in the 8th value.
Oh,
Kyler at 8-7. If I'd been able to get McBride in the 5th, I would have taken Kyler in the 6th. And just completed that little stack.
that's a good pick from Dan.
Oh, Dan, I was hoping he would come back to me.
I like that.
Obviously, we don't know what's happening with Chubb. And I just feel Ford was really good at filling in last year, so he's going to start the first few games at least anyway. We know that.
It absolutely makes sense to grab him there.
Ford
I think-
will be between the 20s.
I must admit, Stu, I do like the Kyler pick.
Oh,
Oh, wow, this is brilliant.
It started.
Okay, you know what, guys? I'm going to be fourth.
Evan McPherson's
Hold me
going
back.
9.6.
You know what though? Like Aubrey and Tucker being the 1 and 2 kickers taken makes complete sense. I just think the round is extremely early, but good pixel guys. Like
I must admit, after watching the Chiefs Lions, I would be dodging Bates for the Lions as a kicker. His kicks did not look good against us yesterday.
Well,
Come on, Dad, you got this.
I love the moral support.
The support that Gav's getting.
Yeah, get filling war room here.
I was thinking there, Mikey. I was thinking there. I wasn't decided, but I was thinking it.
Keon Coleman's an interesting
Yeah,
again.
but it's a bit.
What I keep talking about with Buffalo, like I love this receiver situation because it's a complete cloud of uncertainty. But I do like that Keon Coleman pick as well.
Oh, Fraser's went for it.
Oh, I love it too. And Aaron Rodgers stacked, great.
How many snaps will Fraser get out of him this year?
He has two though, so I mean, let's go for two quarterbacks that sometimes like injuries.
If he gets 5, then it's a better outcome than last year.
Watch them both be injured at the exact same
Have
time.
you seen the quarterbacks?
Oh no!
Well, Dan, can he go?
Christian, Jalen,
That's a pick. I like that pick.
Yeah,
So this is what I was saying earlier. This route for me, rounds 6 through 10 are where you win or lose your league.
Okay.
Rounds 1 to 5 tend to be reasonably predictable. After round 11, it's a complete guessing game. That is a great pick, Jaden Daniels.
I think that's early. I think it's early.
I'd say it's only about a round early. He wouldn't have made him back to
QB though. He's not got an QB.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to get to that situation where you've got to take somebody before they disappear.
I went for really vanilla. That's a really vanilla, safe volume pick or volume cash pick I've went for there.
Let's take all the QBs off the board just to screw with him. I'm going to go.
Screw you.
I've got three RBs in there, so I can afford for him to sit for 4 weeks.
He was not coming back to you.
I'll trade you.
Paul, I was going to. You picked Benson. I looked at him between him and Warren for me. What was your? Give me a logic behind Benson because I did think about it.
I thought all the other guys that was just there. I actually prefer Benson. I did a little bit of redraft analysis on him, and after seeing his preseason game, I think that's the guy who could actually make some good hits in the fantasy.
Yeah, I was reading about it. They were basically saying they reckon that very quickly he will become RB1 in Arizona over James Conner.
Aye, easily.
I think the fact Connor's always got injuries in him as well. I think it bodes well for Benson. Let's be brutally honest.
I really did sway between that. I actually had Benson on my queue. I didn't have Warren on my queue, but Benson I was really tempted.
Now, see, before I make this pick, I would like everybody to know how disgusted I am with myself, right? Before I even click the button, I've never been as disappointed in myself as I am right now. What?
Oh, I mean, Brian, that's like my Singletary pick that I just made as well, like because it's you're basically going for the biggest fish in the crappy pool.
Every
volume's king, so I mean, I get it, but
every report that Carolina says they are relentlessly trying to funnel whatever they can muster on offense through Deontay.
It's literally this season's Adam Thielen, but to be fair, you're saying Singletary and Brian Deontay Johnson. Both of them at this stage were on my radar. If Singletary fell, I was between Singletary and Brooks. And if Johnson come back, that's where I was going. So it is literally a volume thing.
Yep.
No, totally.
Brooks was mine. Brooks was the one I wanted.
It felt like a vanilla pick to me. But that was my problem with it. I just went, I'm playing it safe. But whatever. And that's not how you win leagues. It's playing it safe.
Well, that's one of Keith's teams, to be fair. So what is it? Seahawks, Packers. Who else is on his shirt?
I don't know. The magical multicoloured shirt.
The Texans. I feel like Keith's a big fan of the Texans as well, isn't he? Or is that all of this? The pod last year ended up being like the Texans pod.
It was just a Texans
loving. Texans loving.
Texans and Lions.
Oh, I love the Lions.
A
fellow much maligned Big Cats. Thomas above Kirk. Oh, Brian's a statement.
Latest news: Christian Kirk sidelined with calf injury.
That's maybe the statement that Brian is making, but still.
Christian Kirk 27 and past it. Well, that's bold. I do not. I am not certain that Watson will support Cooper as a wide receiver, let alone Cooper and Judy.
To be fair, Brian, you've just absolutely messed with me there with that camp report about Christian Kirk because I was wondering why he was still sitting there.
Yep.
Hey, Nick, you're now in round 10. How's your first experience of fantasy draft going, Nick?
Kind of the last two picks came thick and fast while I was trying to frantically do research that you guys have probably been doing for the last 6 months as you continue to screw over the rookie. So yeah, I went. Listen, I really like Hawkinson. Obviously, he's coming off his injury, so it's when he's going to get back playing and how quickly he gets back up to speed. But I think for me, he gives me value in the middle of that draft. I don't know. You may have a different view on it, being draft veterans, and then Elliott returning home to Dallas. Anything that can stop the QB there from throwing it interceptions would be hugely valuable for them. So he's going to get lots of handoffs, I think, and might have like a swan song season or a big farewell. Who knows?
I'm just going to say, just to prove that we do listen to each other's podcasts, through Chase Brown, that's one that I've been listening out for from the FC North preview podcast. So he's going to be, that was one I had my eye on for late rounds.
Yeah, I very much had my eye on him as well. I'm going to go pure volume this guy. I don't know how his team is going to do this year, but I need the position filled.
Yeah, makes sense. Again,
I was toying with him.
Another rookie question before it can roll out and give me time. So I'm getting an idea of it now, but let's see my blend of QB, RB, wide receiver, tight end. Is that kind of like normal here, or is there something that's kind of lacking for mine?
No, you're pretty balanced.
Okay.
You got a pretty balanced team all in, Nick. From now on, right, so this is the tip then that you would give to people, particularly at this point in the draft. None of the players that you draft at this point are likely to be absolute standout players. So you're playing for upside. You're picking players now that you think are going to, for whatever reason, wind up seeing a lot of the ball. Now, sometimes it's going to be, for example, a running back handcuff. So, we've seen Liam drafted Spears. Now, he's obviously hoping to see him emerge as the lead back in Tennessee. He might not, but in the 10th round, you can afford to miss. So for here on out, the kind of player, there's no point playing particularly safe with any of your picks for this stage. You're swinging for the rafters.
Absolutely. Take a swing on somebody you maybe believe in that you can think is going to land deep bombs every so often or is going to have breakout runs. So,
Mikey!
Looking at the board, you've got Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins still sitting there from a running back perspective. Right now, you don't know who the RB1 is. For me, the better RB is probably Dobbins when he's fit, if I'm being brutally honest. But Gus Edwards, who's just went, seems to get the touchdown. So it's things like that. You're looking for guys that will do something spectacular.
Brian, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. No, this isn't the year you want Baker. This is an odd Baker year. You want, an even year. You want Baker on odd years. So you want him this year. Something bad's going to happen. Next year he'll ball out again. Baker only plays well in his odd numbered years with any team.
My next person I'm thinking about aiming up could be sniped, but we'll see how it goes. I took a chance by taking a quarterback than the other person I was thinking about taking. So if it comes back to me, we'll see how it goes.
I'm literally looking at somebody and I almost took him the last round and I'm sitting thinking, so Paul is potentially going to snipe me.
No,
don't do it. You're going to snipe me as well.
No, this is a strategic one, and I think Daniel actually understand why I'm doing this.
You're going to snipe me, Paul. You're going to snipe me. I should have taken them. Yeah.
Dan, I will say it wasn't going to be me that was going to snipe you there because if you look at my team, I've got a fair fill of running backs. Now, Nick, I was literally talking about somebody that you're going to swing for the rafters for here, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. He's never had a full season in the NFL, but he has got that ability to absolutely house it. So that's why I've went Jameson Williams. So total swing to the rafter.
I was looking at him, but I've got a little tactic just now.
But Williams didn't fault me.
You've got to throw it to somebody.
Well, that's Polk was literally, if Williams didn't fault with me, I know he's by weeks 14 as well, the same as two of my other wide receivers. I was just going to hit it anyway, and then maybe I could go to trade him to you.
Blake Corum, I like that pick by Kev, by the way, Blake Corum.
Yeah,
Again,
same with me.
Stu, go
for him as well. I was actually kind of looking at him before I took Dallas Goedert there, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to leave. I've just taken 2 running backs in a row, and I needed a backup tight end, so I figured it was a good idea to pass.
So another rookie question is like 4 wide receivers. Can you let optimum here?
Wide receiver is, you want more wide receivers more often than not, because this is a PPR league, so it's a points per reception league, which obviously wide receivers will have more receptions than running backs, who do get points for being handed the ball, just not as many. Okay. So wide receivers will more than likely be the biggest scorers in the year. CMC breaks that if he plays for a full year, though, because CMC
Bijan breaks it this year.
We'll see. Now, before I make this pick, this is great. I did this last year when we were doing the draft. Stu.
Oh no!
That's Canada.
Taking the Carolina RB1 again. It's okay though. I have him in so many leagues because, like, to tell the short story again of this, like, Chuba Hubbard is actually from like 5 minutes away from where I live in Canada now, so he's like a big local hero and all that, and it's kind of good to see him every year beating out whoever it is, whether it's Miles Sanders or whoever else. He kind of ends up being RB1. So with all the talk of Brooks being taken and the fact that he's coming into the season, I can't see him being RB1 in Carolina until at least week 8 or 9. So Studds' pick a few rounds ago was kind of a wasted pick, because Chuba, that's his backfield and he's going to keep it that way.
Now, do you know, I'm going to say again for a fantasy novice, given that we're in a PPR league and given Drake May.
Oh, yeah, fucker.
Love it. So cool.
I think Hunter Henry's a good value pick. I went
into tight ends because I've only got one sitting on there. I was like, let's get some balance. I was like, oh, he's still on the board. He'll be good for 9 or 10 touchdowns this season.
You're definitely in the value. That's the thing, is when we're this deep in the draft, it's now not really so much about position for me. I just look at it and go, well, who's best value? Even if I have a bunch of them, if it's running back or wide receiver, I'll just take whichever one's best value to me. And on that note, I'm going to pick my man. He just got a large contract. Here he comes. Money Mac.
Yeah.
I need to be honest, I so hope somebody picks Q before it gets all the way back to Keith.
If we're doing points for tackles as well, Koo was throwing tackles during the kickoff return. So, I mean, you know, it might be a good pick. Like, it's something you don't really want to see your kicker doing, though.
No, you do not. oh, there's Kirk.
Cousins, good pick. I like it.
This has went so far off script for me, by the way. Like, just me and Stu talk a lot about fantasy. Me and Stu talk a lot about mock drafts, and this is so far away from anything that either of us have looked at.
Totally. Yeah, I'm picking a lot of guys I don't normally pick, which is really funny, but whatever. That's the way it goes. That's how the cookie crumbles.
Very different runs.
Tyler Lockett, that could be an absolutely great pick, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think again, Seahawks obviously they've got Metcalf and we've got JSN, but Lockett's always good for points. I mean, he's not going to be a number one wide receiver, but when you've got a bye week and you need somebody to put in, Tyler Lockett's exactly the play you'd want in there.
Oh, he's got a safe floor without a shadow of a doubt. Did they not get paid again this year?
Come on.
Oh, Fraser. Oh, no,
I was hoping you just don't know what's going to happen.
Lockett's very much boom and bust last year. I mean, it's a couple of big games, but unfortunately, a lot of 2-3 point games as well.
But he starts running the defenses.
So that's, Gav's exactly right, because that's where I would disagree with Studds. I don't think Lockett's got a safe floor at all, but I think his ceiling is unbelievable. Like, nobody would be shocked if Lockett dropped a 25-30 point game. But by the same token, nobody would be shocked if Lockett dropped a 3-point game.
What will happen is he'll drop that 20-point game when he's on my bench, and he'll drop that 3-point game when I start him.
Yes, he will.
I'll also say I wouldn't be surprised if Jacoby Myers does a 20 to 30 point game at some point this year.
He was someone I think I said in the last round last year on a bench, dropped him very quickly and kind of regretting it.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, now Minshew Mania time and all that. Like, obviously, Adams is there and he's going to draw most of the coverage. And where Myers was doing well last year was like in picking that up. And I do feel like Minshew is a better option than AOC.
What I would then say is
Raiders are in that. We're maybe giving a bit of a preview here for the UFC West show that's happening tomorrow. But to me, I think the Raiders being in that kind of less than good division, shall we say. Maybe the offense will be a bit spicier than it was last year.
What I've got to say about the Raiders though is Brock Bowers going to be wide receiver number 2 for the Raiders though?
You could very well could, and maybe Dan will talk about that tomorrow.
Oh, there's Jake Moody off the board. Right, go on, Liam. Another kicker, and we can call it a run.
No,
let's come back to you then. Let's come back to you. We've talked to you at the start. Let's talk us through your mid to late rounds so far then, what you're thinking.
So I think probably big thing for me is I'd left it late in tight ends, but Cole Kmet from the Bears is someone that I really thought he came on really strong at the end of the year last year. And I think, to be honest, that this newly retooled Bears offense is something that I want to have a wee stake in. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of mouths to feed there. I've also picked up Keenan Allen slightly further up. I think Rome Odunze is the potential to be a super pick for you. But yeah, I think tight end is something that I've kind of hedged my bets. You've seen on the turn there, taking Cole and also Brock Bowers, who we just obviously touched on as well. He's a rookie, but taking 2 back-to-back, you kind of get the option to see how he develops.
Oh, Stud's going to do it. Hey!
Oh, you did it right, Jakey. You did it right, Jakey.
Right,
Kev also gets sniped for the Philly Eagles. Oh no, he already has Aubrey. He's fine.
Stu, we never get a chance. Obviously, we're in the car. We never get a great chance to talk to you. So, talk us through your draft so far, Stu.
Well, I mean, when I auto-selected Jamar Chase, that was obviously fantastic, and then it just got worse from there. In all honesty, like, it's not like Brian was saying, it's not really went the way any of my mock drafts have went so far. So I've kind of went completely off script. I do like the ETN pick when I got him because I was looking at Gibbs, but he went immediately before me. But I wasn't too upset because I thought either ETN or Laporta, who went immediately after. I was looking at one of those two. But being able to fall back to then getting like Olave and Waddle, I think, are good wide receivers, and Kincaid, I love its tight end, and then having my cover later on, I think that's good. Chase Brown, I'm a Bengals fan, obviously, so Chase Brown to me, I think he could put up big numbers this year.
Yeah.
So again, getting him where I did, like all the way down in the 10th, I'm delighted with that. So far, I'm pretty happy. Like, I do think there's teams that are better than mine, but I think it's the best I could do with where I was. Like, so, yeah, happy enough.
Excellent. We've loved made the joke about Keith and Q, but did they not change the Kyrie Fairbairn's favourite kicker last year anyway?
When he handed in the Seahawks card for his Texans one, like, yeah, I think
another Ricky Pearsall. That's an interesting one. I looked at Ricky Pearsall, and obviously he's got a good chance, but I think the problem with not knowing what's happening with Ayuk is Pearsall going to get a lot of action. I mean, to get him in the 13th round there's no harm in taking that pick at that point. Do you know what I mean? But Pearsall could easily be someone that could step up and get a lot of productivity if Ayuk goes. Someone we really liked last year, I think, was me and you started talking to Juwan Jennings. He's still floating about in the 49ers depth chart as well. So Pearsall's going to have to compete with him for the targets.
100%, and he was one of the guys that was brought up when the 49ers guy was on the pod. Sorry, his name escapes me, but he was talking about third and Juwan.
Yeah.
And it was, again, listen, until Mahomes just started doing Mahomes things in the Super Bowl, Juwan Jennings was going to be the Super Bowl MVP. Do you know what I mean? And until that wee spell where Mahomes turned up, it was going to be Juwan Jennings. So, the guy's And I think Pearsall's picked up injuries in training camp as well, so I don't think he's been 100% fit.
Oh, Mikey! Oh, he's the last guy in my queue. What a pick that is. I love that pick.
Likely in the
Tricky
14th.
question.
Hell of a value.
What happens with free agents after the draft here?
You can pick up you can swap it about, but you can only ever have this many players in your team. So if you want to pick somebody up, you'll need to drop somebody for them.
Okay.
Or if you've drafted someone that's injured, you can move them to your IR.
Right.
After IR, yeah.
Like, that's
How
an
do-
old
How
shit.
do trades work?
I should have taken Likely there rather than the defence, but I completely forgot Mikey was there.
Say that again,
rookie
sorry,
mistake
Nick, I
of me.
missed that question.
Was
How
that?
do trades work?
Ah.
Trades, you can just start firing trades in as you need, or so you can just start firing out trade requests.
Good last
as-
pick by
as you
Gav.
want.
Yeah, that was one that I'd spied, and I historically been wary of guys and injuries, but just with that being the bottom of the draft, I'm just thinking I can wait
Nothing to
4 to
lose.
6 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks, we'll see how he goes.
Yeah.
I've got an absolutely dirty pick coming up if it falls my way.
Yeah. Gav, that's also part of my thinking with my last pick on Dobbins. Like, obviously, the guy's coming back for a pretty horrific knee injury, and I also feel like the guy owes me something because he was my first fifth round pick, but my first running back picked in one of the drafts last year, and he lasted one half where he looked absolutely fantastic. Then his knee blew up, and that kind of crippled me for the entire year. But I still made it to the semi-final. But anyway, we're now looking at defences, and you know what? I'm going to go with something a bit completely random here. That's from the depths, but I actually think they're going to do pretty well as a defence this year, partly based on their division being absolutely shit, and they have a lot of good players. So I'm confident they'll come.
Oh, that's not where I thought you were going. I was going to say there's a defence still out there which has been fighting in camp and shown what they want to absolutely ball, and they're still sitting there. And I almost took them instead of the Chiefs, to be fair. So I'm curious if somebody will pick them up.
Well, don't name them until the end, and we'll see.
Yeah.
Well,
there was definitely a few I looked at there, including everybody's favourite team, the Houston Texans defence. But
well,
you know what?
Shaheed. I like the Shaheed pick. That's a
as
value
me,
15.
I'm feeling dirty. I'm looking for a nasty boy, a starting QB.
Yeah,
an absolute nasty boy.
You know what? Like, poor division, so maybe balls out.
Excuse me.
There's one very good team, and then some. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Let's get our predictions. And Keith's got Mr. Irrelevant. Who's he going to go for? Is he going to take a random flyer, or is he actually going to be a sensible pick?
It's going to be a defence.
He needs a defence.
Oh, he really does need a defence. Oh, I never noticed. Hey, Brian, you've got the random Mr. Irrelevant pick then.
No, I don't. I need a kicker.
Oh.
There's only one kicker I'm drafting.
Brandon Cooks is the Mr. Irrelevant.
Cooks is Mr. Irrelevant.
I was hoping somebody was going to pick up Reece Zammit just for a random flyer.
Well,
just
like the final
see
pick.
if Keith's going to take it. He may take them, maybe not. But the defence, I think that's going to looking like they're going to ball. I think this year's, and especially the defensive coach is their head coach, the Texans.
Yeah,
I think they're going to be good this year.
Texans on the line would be a good pick.
But I have to say that the Texans were actually the highest defence I had in my queue. They were left to me, but I decided it was like, screw it, I'm going to go off board and go for Falcons just because I believe in that, especially with the Simmons pickup. I was like, you know what, safety with him and Bates, like that's probably the best safety duo in the league.
I was a coin toss between the Chiefs and the Chiefs and the Texans, and I literally went Chiefs just based on what we done last year on defense. So I'm trusted in Spags, and that's why I kind of went Chiefs instead of Texans.
So this is where we get to the fun bit now, guys. We get to slag or grade each other, which is always one of the fun bits. And we're just going to do it in draft order, right? So basically what I want you to do is, guys, tell me who you think, apart you can't pick yourself, who do you think is the best draft We're not going to do the worst draft because we don't want to name and shame people. But who is the worst? You want to do it, Brian? You want to do who thinks picked the worst?
I just hope we could all say Dan.
Yeah, you can say that, but it's not going to be true. But you can say it. We'll just be friendly and be nice. So, Gav, who do you, if you're looking at the rosters in front of you, who do you think has won this draft, or who do you think looks very strong?
Him.
So I've got to say, I'm looking at Fraser's draft here, and I think he started to really set that tone early on by taking Amon-Ra St. Brown with the 3rd overall pick. There's a few guys in there that I would have liked to get. Derek Henry, I definitely had my eye on at the bottom of the 2nd round. I've also got to say that I think Aaron Rodgers, there's big questions there in terms of how well he's going to recover from his injury troubles, but to have him as your backup quarterback is a nice position to be in. So yeah, I think there's just a few kind of outside the box picks there from Fraser that you should be really pleased with if he's listening.
Stu, what about yourself? Who do you think who's looking strong?
I'll give you my least favourite team in the draft.
Go for it.
Studs. I don't like Studs' team. Chelsea in the 2nd round. He's getting older. He's going to see less volume. Nico Collins, too many mouths to feed. Kenneth Walker's decent, but he does it in spurts. DeAndre Swift, I'm not a fan of at all. Jaden Reed, again, there's a lot of mouths there. Brooks, I already said earlier, I think that's Chuba's room, at least for the first kind of 6 to 8 weeks of the season. So yeah, not into Studs' team. No offense, Studs, but
of course.
No offense, Studs, but your team shit.
I mean, watch, I'm going to do crap. Like, I'll do worse than him again this year. Like, but no, my favourite team. To be honest, like, I actually like Mikey's team. Like, considering, like, especially, I'm looking at it going, like, you know what? If you've never done this before, and
I think Mikey's played fantasy.
Nick is not.
Nick's a rookie.
Well, even for next team, I like next team because I mean he's got Brock, he's got Caleb, could be good this year. TJ Hawkinson is a good depth pick. He already had Kittle or whatever as well. Like Saquon, 1st round, he's in Philly. Like Malik, going to get loads of volume. So yeah, you know what, Nick, I'm going to give you props. I like it.
If we can just stay in the next team for a wee moment as well, I think the one that really intrigues me is to be getting Zeke in the 10th round because he's actually splitting reps in the first team right now. So all you need to do is to get him to snipe some touchdowns off of Dowdle, and actually he's a great value pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Paul, is Elliott going to be the goal line back for us?
I think it's going to be a running back by committee.
Now I want you to tell us what Jerry's going to make your team do, though.
Is he going to pay Dak? That's the bigger question.
Is he going to pay Dak? As far as I know, in terms of my sources, that deal is going to get done before week 1.
Good. Should get done.
Interesting. Break it news.
Stay with yourself, Paul. Whose team do you like?
Let me see. I tend to agree with Fraser's actually. Like he's got Diggs, he's got Smith. Like you've got guys that are really high up that would be up there for the PPR, and doesn't really matter with the quarterback. They're still going to get points with them. Running backs after Henry, like Pollard, yeah, he's technically your starting running back, but how much is he going to? Is he? That's the thing. But yeah, I think overall I do like Fraser's.
Did somebody take TJ Spears?
He's Liam.
All right, okay. I was going to ask him, I couldn't find out first there. Right, who am I going next? Studs?
I'm trying to look at it. I do like Fraser's first 5 picks. After that, I'm a bit meh, to be honest. Stu, again, as much as he's absolutely just destroyed my team, the fact the T. Higgins in the 6, again, I'm not. And Najee as well, him and Jalen Warren, I just don't believe in.
Returning the favour, are you?
No, listen, you've got Jamar Chase, let's be honest. A blind man could have told us where you were going when that landed to you. Travis Etienne, I don't mind. Chris Olave's still got Derek Carr.
Derek Carr thrown him.
So let's be brutally honest about that pick.
Hey, you know what? Derek Carr, like perennial top 10 in the ratings, quarterback. No matter what people say about him, he's still kind of stat wise, he's decent.
I'll be honest. I think you can sit and pick certain parts of everybody's draft where they've got decent spells, and even when I'm looking at it, like Liam's outside the Justin Jefferson pick because I don't believe in the Vikings defense. You look at his 2-7, and I'm like, they're great value picks, especially for PPR. You've got James Cook, Alvin Kamara, DJ Moore, Rashee Rice, Chris Godwin, DeAndre Hopkins when he comes back. Dontavian Wicks in the last, you just don't know what he's going to be in that offense. I'm going to sit in the fence, but I could pick bits in everybody's draft where I kind of like spells. I don't think there's one team that kind of jumps out to me where I would say I think they've got an absolute ridiculous team. I think everybody's got a wee spell where it's good. And I'm not one to normally be shy and sit in the fence, to be honest.
No, you're not. Nick, obviously, as a fantasy rookie, you've obviously been watching us all pick our players right now. What team do you like the look of looking at the list?
Yeah, listen, that's the first time I've done it. As you said, it is full on and it moves so fast. Like you sitting, I don't know how much prep you guys do, but somebody's talking about doing mock drafts and stuff. Now, yeah, like sometimes you lose your way slightly, and you're like, I got two and on the buzzer. Thankfully, I don't know what I'd have got if I hadn't went with them, but I kind of got what I wanted to pick. I like Mikey Brown's team. Hill and Flowers, Hutz and Herbert, Montgomery and White, and then Pitts with likely at the bottom with Seahawks defense and even the 49ers defense there as well. I think it's good. It's good solid depth across the board.
I think that's a team.
I've got two questions for you. Who's your favourite team, right? But looking at that, what was the best pick of the night? Like, who was picked in a position where you think that was a great pick?
For me?
Yeah. No, sorry, for Brian. Sorry.
Right.
Oh, right. So, do you know, this is a bit... see, I'm talking about being disgusted with myself. I'm going to be disgusted with myself again. My favourite team in the board's actually yours, Dan. Lamb, Dak, Stack, I think, could be incredible. A-Chain and Pacheco is as solid a running back tandem you're going to find. McBride will lose a wee bit of luck. He'll lose a wee bit now that Harrison Jr.'s in there, but he's not going to lose that much. Then you've got some punts. You've got a couple of safe ones and a couple of punts. I like that. I like that a lot. Who do I think is the best value on the board?
Yeah.
Between a couple. I would probably... So ones that jump out at me is excellent value where they got picked up. As much as, yes, he is rocking a calf strain at the minute, Christian Kirk at the end of the 10th is a value. There's a lot of upside there. We were talking about Liam's team a minute ago, Spears, where he was picked up in the 10th as well. I do think that will become his backfield. I think Pollard showed us exactly what he was last year. Other ones that are big value picks. Do you know, wee bit earlier in the draft, but I will say for Nick, I think Neighbours fallen into 4 because he is the only target in New York. So he's going to be funneled the ball relentless. He might have got a lot of yardage, but he'll see a lot of PPR points. Other than that, who's my super late one that I think's a good value? Stu. J.K. Dobbins in 14. 14-7. J.K. Dobbins. There is everywhere universe where the Chargers, who are going to be a run-first team, and there's every universe where that becomes Dobbins' backfield. So that could be an absolute league-breaking pick in the 14th.
Excellent. Well, guys, this was good. We done it for the first time last year, and it was good. Tonight, I think we went even further and took it to another level tonight. But what I didn't feel as if there was much sniping tonight of players. We had a few every now and again, but last year was just full of absolute snipes.
I definitely get
guys,
sniped.
I'm not going to use individuals. Sorry.
I definitely get sniped a few times, like the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, there was a few, but I felt like as if last year everybody gets sniped just
Strike.
constantly last year. I'm not going to get out individually, guys, because there's too many tonight to get through individually. But thank you very much, guys, for joining in tonight. It's been such good fun. Thanks everyone who's been watching and listening to us. Leave your comments on you. You can see our draft there. We'll try and get that image up on the social media so you can see everybody's draft. Leave us your comments on it. Let us know what you think, your thoughts on who done well, who didn't do well, what was your favourite picks, what picks you think, who reached, who got some good value late in the draft. So let us know what you think on that. We will be back with the continuation of our preview shows next week. I think, Brian, are you up on Monday?
I can't remember. It might be me. I'm doing it. It's the next time I'm on. It'll be the AFC South. So I need to double check the diary and see.
I'm on.
No, Stu. She isn't
Stu's up on Monday. I think I'm next Monday.
Sorry, I forgot.
It's the AFC West preview tomorrow, so we're getting to talk all things J.K. Dobbins and Raiders with Minshew Mania and Bo Nix with the Broncos, and we're not going to even talk about the other team because everybody's getting. He waves it. Look at the video. Like he's actually waving.
Sure, Stu?
He's actually waving the flag right now. No, Stud over there too.
Excellent. So Stu will be tomorrow. So it's AFC. It's the West this week. So AFC will be the start of the week. NFC at the end of the week. So tune in for that. Everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Leave us all your comments on the socials. Give us follows. Give us subscribes. And as usual, to steal Keith's line until the season gets started. We're just under 3 weeks away now. It's 3 weeks. 3 weeks tonight. We will see the return of Scott Hansen. We cannot wait. Until then, the crew will see you through.